What's up, my XRP brothers from another mother and my cute XRP sisters? This is Rob with the Rob007 channel coming to you from beautiful Venice Island. Absolutely gorgeous day once again down at the beach, 5 out of 5. And the title of this episode is XRP Liquidity Compression Flywheel has begun. Lock in. XRP will move without any warning. I got a good episode for you guys as well. And also, you know what? The reason behind Brad Garland House saying it's happening, lock in, and the DTC chair as well, and I heard chiming in saying lock in, because yes, indeed, it has begun. So super excited, and thank you as always. We're only a couple of hundred subs away from 9,000 subscribers. Appreciate each and every one of you. But indeed, if you are new to this channel, if you would hit the subscribe button to subscribe, the bell for notification, that like button, tap it, slap it, whatever you are feeling for a Monday to start the week. And if you do Twitter, follow me at Rob XRP007 on Twitter. Let my Twitter XRP family. And a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. This channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And now, in quick order and fashion, don't forget about the fine folks at iTrustCapital. It's my favorite place to custody, one of my favorite three. Link is in the description. Right now, when you use the link, you get $100 signing bonus when you fund your account. And also they have zero trade fees, 1%, zero custody fees on their trading fees, only 1%, unbelievable. And yes, they will be looking at an ROI coming out in the not near distant future. And also don't forget about my second favorite, or tied with them as well, Caleb and Brown, also institutional grade custody, zero fees on their custody as well. You got a broker they assign to you, and my biggest reason I love them is because when we hit the banana zone and all these exchanges start to freeze up and it ain't your keys, ain't your crypto, I'll be able to get my sell orders executed when we are there. So that's worth it, well worth it right there alone. Links in the description. Last but not least, Kraken, they give upwards of $150. That's my favorite exchange to trade on for liquidity purpose, where I get a tight trade and it doesn't cost me so much. And last but not least, if you're looking for an ROI on your XRP at the highest level of institutional grade custody, email me your name, number, and a good time to call you. Emails in the description. Please be patient. We got a little bit of a backup there. And then you'll also find out why I am grinning like the cat that ate the canary with that. In the comments, George says, if you want to be king, you have to go through the XRP fire to be the king of crypto. Well said, my friend. And also in the comments, Lauren says, congrats to your son being aware, saving that young man's life. He says, she's going to say you raised a good guy. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of them both. And yeah, that was a really great story to know that he was in the right place at the right time. Also in the comments, By Tango says, Jake gonna have to kiss his XRP goodbye 100. And yeah, I might have to kiss. His bet is that XRP reaches $750 by the end of the year. My bet is that with my executive producer, speaking of which, is that we are going to hit $100 by the end of the year. And yeah, right now it's, it's kind of hard. You think about it, man, just, it seems like mission impossible right now. Do you realize we're only about 24 days till January 1? And we are only 17 days away from Christmas. Unbelievable. So it does seem like a mission possible for it to do. In this case, like if you hit 100x, that's a 50x. To hit $20 by Christmas, that's a 10x from here. So yeah, but you know what? XRP 100% possible, in my humble opinion, not financial advice. Watch this. It's not if, but when. Watch this episode at the end. You'll learn something perhaps in this one as well. No Limit up on X says the big storm is coming. It's talking about, once again, that global debt crisis. Yields are drifting higher between Japan, US, Australia, Germany, Spain, and France. And that's why I think there will be a liquidity crisis, is because it's like $315 trillion in total global debt's unsustainable. And again, what Glenn Beck noted, there's not another fallback. If a currency or empire collapses, there's always another one that fills its place. That is not the case in the world that we live in at the current times. Currently, we got Bitcoin at 90,000. It's down about 1%. XRP is at $2.07, also down about 1% in tandem. And can you believe, yeah, again, 24 days till January 1, 17 days till Christmas. Charles Hoskinson, by the way, says Monday's going to be a good day. Of course, he is the CEO founder of Cardano, also known as ADA. Will we get an announcement from him that comes out later today? It is about 4 o'clock, 3, almost not quite 4. I have not seen anything thus far on that. And could it also be a announcement with not only Cardano with XRP and Ripple? Because yes, I think he is trying to, let's just say, draft off the coattails of Ripple. Invented, oh yeah, and you guys remember, have you ever seen the money supply? One of the older images of it, there are a bunch of updated ones, it's like an inverted triangle with a heavy weightedness up at the top, and at the very top of that are the derivatives market, making the largest portion of the world's global money. And do you know what the price was for that price when it does include that? Can you say $11,000 and change for your XRP per XRP? That was like 5 years ago. Can you think that the derivatives market might just be a wee bit larger than it was 5 years ago? Yeah, I think so. Watch Your Guru says top U.S. banks are meeting with senators today to discuss market structure legislation. As well, Brad Garlinghouse appeared before, I think, the banking committee or the Senate as well to be talking about Ripple's role. And it's a 4-minute video out there on Twitter. It's actually great. And quote of the day also comes from our fearless leader, Brad Garlinghouse. He says, within 4 weeks, XRP, now the fastest growing spot ETF to reach $1 billion in the USA. In the US, they are #1 king. Soon to be also to dethrone the #1 Bitcoin, not if but when. Poolside Chat says ETF update, 12.3 million in inflows. And that was by noon. The last I checked, it's kind of closing in on 20 million. And who's leading the way? Can you say Canary Capital once again is in the lead pole position on that on this day? RLUSD breaking records. What am I talking about? Now there's over 1 billion minted over on in the Ethereum network with the EVM sidechain. And yes, and with the price of Ethereum going up, if it starts to move up to these larger prices, well, guess what? The money will be rotating out of ETH into RLUSD just for payments. It's so expensive, and the higher it goes, the more expensive it gets. And yes, just worth repeating, we're only one announcement away from the banana zone, and this thing's going parabolic. I truly think we're just going to wake up one day and just be in disbelief looking at the price. And I'm going to share with you what I'm talking about in this episode. Wednesday, we do have rate cuts. I think we got a quarter base. This is what the consensus is. Could we get a half a basis point? And also cannot wait to see what happens on the 18th with Japan and their interest rates a week later. So, and again, the Clarity Act, we could have it up for markup on the 18th on the exact same day. Or will it be the end of January, end of February? It does not seem like it's being ushered in too soon. And you know what? See how close, just, with everything happening, you realize how well we are poised right now just to have that quote-unquote flip the switch moment, as well as that liquidity crisis seems to be inevitable with that 315, but it seems trillion. But we just seem with all these things between regulations and all these bills passed, all their acquisitions that they have done, connecting these networks together, that we are poised. It's going to happen any day. And also Bitnomial, we were talking about that exchange, actually, and shout out to Brad Kimes for bringing this attention. Says he put in the Grok and asked if Ripple Prime was using Bitnomial, and Grok said yes, indeed they were working with Bitnomial right now. And the president of NASDAQ, this is great. This was in Jake Claver in one of his shorts. Really an eye-opener. I did not realize this. This one kind of goes up here in this file, saying that the president of NASDAQ and Ripple president, Monica Long, that she says that the first place to start using DLT, you know where that's going to be? To settle the back end of the stock market with DTCC, to reconcile trades. Settle the back end of the stock market on DTCC. And we've done these numbers before. The stock market does about $7 trillion a day. And if you do the math on that, that would yield a price of XRP at $700 per XRP at 1,000 with 100 million. And if it's only 50 million, you're looking at 1,400. And I assume there's maybe more like of a third of that supply left, more like 33, not 100. And that'll lead you somewhere north of a $2,000 XRP, not financial advice. Yes, that would make me such a happy camper. Here's what's playing out. So we get to the best of this episode and the best for last, talking about what's playing out in front of us. This is just so exciting. When we talk about that flywheel effect beginning, it has begun. And we're not waiting. And here are a couple of note bullet points to bring out. One is that the ETF inflows begin the compression. And just keep in mind, we got 3 more kind of slated any day. We got 4 out there right now. I think 5 with the futures one. And then also, could we see a BlackRock announcement? But he says that is the compression is beginning with the amount of XRP that's available on the exchanges, which is number 2, exactly that. Exchange reserves shrink. XRP is drying up off the exchanges really fast. We reported a couple of numbers. Can see that to continue going. It's just not if, but when they will run out of XRP. We've talked about a couple of theories on that. Number 3, RLUSD corridors are the real settlement layers. Again, RLUSD is like, I think someone equated it to just being jet fuel for XRP and Ripple. He says, creating predictable chain liquidity cycles. And I love that, predictable chain liquidity cycles. That actually, to me, I interpret also as stable. Institutional custody finalizes the flywheel. And that's number 5. Or what number am I on? That's like number 4 anyway. Anyway, institutional custody finalizes the flywheel. I might have one before that. Here's number 4. I kind of got it in mixed order. Identity verification. It says enables institutions to use high val flows. That's another word for wholesale, large wholesale payments, my friends, with full regulatory alignment. There you go. And this was the last one to put it in is institutional custody finalizes the flywheel. We're talking about banks, treasuries, asset managers, the circulating float of XRP permanently reduced, not temporarily, permanently. The ETF flows that are outflows that are going, those are long-term holders. That's just that those are basically locked away when they get over there. Long-term investors. Same thing here with banks, treasuries, and asset managers custodying XRP is permanently reduced. They're not putting it back on the market. It says put it all together. This is the liquidity compression flywheel moves, and flywheel. It moves only in one direction. And yes, that direction will be spinning the price of your XRP up. And then when the flywheel releases full speed, price does not gradually rise. It says price rises violently. That sounds like says nobody has a crystal ball. I'll go on to this. That says price rises violently. And it goes on saying, you know what, nobody has a crystal ball when or may that happen. We have all this stuff happening with potential liquidity prices. Now we kind of know what will cause this flywheel effect. And so do we wake up between now and who knows when, if we have a liquidity crisis? Do we see a $100, a $500, a $1,000, or even a $2,000 XRP? And is it possible that we could just bypass that when in that violent move and see that top of that inverted diamond chart with all the money and see a $10,000 XRP? If it does, we'll all know it's about time for that bigger boat. See you guys in the next episode. Peace out.